Hey guys, this is our cat project.
Hey.
Enjoy.
Our CAP group, in the interest of pursuing environmental policy, decided to research the topic of renewable energy sources. We were interested in how easy and available renewable sources, such as solar energy, can be to the public, and whether or not implementing them into homes, schools, and businesses would be a plausible scenario. Our essential question changed multiple times throughout the process in our quest for finding ways to enforce renewables and how we should go about such a process.
For the past 2 centuries, humans have been on the quest for energy. The energy industry began with the notorious fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas. These are all finite resources that are limited on Earth. Not only are they limited, but the methods of extracting them and using these resources harm the planet in many ways. Our first question we started out with was, how can we subsidize solar panels in order to make them more affordable to various members of the community? And we came to this question with the help of Rivanna representative on the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors, Mr. Norman Dill. He said that being energy efficient and having good infrastructure is important before you spend time and money on installing the actual renewable energy sources, and including like building solar panels on schools. He also informed us that Albemarle County has made the first steps towards renewables in the school system by installing solar panels on 21 out of 25 of the public schools in Albemarle County. And this is through a power purchase agreement with a third-party provider following the signing of a contract with a stand-based solar energy development firm called Secure Features.
With these solar panels, Albemarle County could see a 30% reduction in energy usage, resulting in saving $348,750.
With this information, we decided to reach out to local renewable energy company LEAP to understand specifically what policies the government has created or can create to help solar and other renewable energies become implemented into the community.
Mr. Grigsby, the director of LEAP based here in Charlottesville. Mr. Grigsby gave us more insight on actual policies that could be implemented to incentivize the move to renewables. We talked about the use of a carbon tax in order to incentivize people to back off fossil fuels and switch to renewables. He also talked about Virginia's building codes. We learned that Virginia's building codes are written to enforce energy efficiency, but these codes are not required to be tested by inspectors. Vent leaks, drafty doors, and windows are not being tested by inspectors, which add to our inefficiency. Mr. Grigsby explained to us that being energy efficient comes first, before time and money is spent on building renewable energy sources. Being more efficient makes it practical for homeowners and businesses to invest in renewables, like solar panels, because they've already eliminated a good amount of their energy consumption. With this new information, we changed our question to accommodate the new information.
This led us to ask ourselves, what can the government do policy-wise in order to help the growth and development of solar energy use? We then decided to focus on carbon taxes and building codes as policies that the government can implement to help incentivize people to move towards renewable energy, as well as reduce the amount of energy they use in general. Our next step was to talk with Crystal Rittervold, Charlottesville's environmental administrator, where she introduced us to the idea of a comprehensive plan for Virginia's energy plan portfolio. She highlighted the importance of having a renewable energy portfolio standard to increase the state's percentage of renewable energy used. She informed us about carbon taxes and how the introduction of one in Virginia could be used to push businesses and people to move to renewable energy because of the increased price in using fossil fuels.
The question became, should Virginia create a comprehensive plan for renewable energy? Our answer to this question is that we believe Virginia should have a comprehensive renewable energy plan in regards to a renewable portfolio standards and improved building codes, but we agree with Mr. Sutton in that a carbon tax would not be beneficial.
Our last step was to create an action, specifically regarding the most important part of the comprehensive plan, the renewable portfolio standard. We decided to research more about it by contacting Hayes Fram, Secretary of Commerce and Trade. We did some more digging and came to the conclusion that Virginia already has a renewable energy portfolio standard. However, the standard is currently only voluntary. Our focus is to make it mandatory.
Currently, Virginia is the only state with a renewable portfolio standard that is voluntary. The current plan is that by 2022, Virginia would have a 12% renewable energy projection and 15% by 2025. If this plan were to be mandatory, it would help Virginia to become more energy efficient so that companies such as Dominion couldn't have so much of a monopoly over the energy used in Virginia. Mr. Hayes informed us about how we might be able to take action to make a good voluntary plan a mandatory one. We were told to reach out to legislators that could introduce a bill to make the plan mandatory. This is an explanation of exactly what we want our action to be.
So we feel like the main part of our action plan is to mandate Virginia's renewable portfolio standard because it'll hold big energy utility companies like Dominion Power and Appalachian Power responsible to increasing their output percentage of renewables each year. It'd also decrease the output of carbon metric tons per year created by fossil industry.
And by making the big companies like Dominion move to more renewable energy, we think that it would also put the idea in people's head to start getting informed about what exactly that would mean. And we think it would push people to start moving to more renewable energy just by getting introduced to it.
The first part of our plan is to enforce Virginia's building codes. Virginia's building codes are already made to make sure all buildings are energy efficient. Things like vent leaks and drafty windows are supposed to be tested by Virginian inspectors, but aren't being enforced. Buildings are being built inefficiently because our building codes aren't being enforced.
Before communities move to renewable energies like solar panels, they need to increase their energy efficiency. Building energy efficient cities make it much more practical to spend time and money on building renewable energy sources.
For the next part of our action, we decided to exclude the carbon tax out of our comprehensive plan. After we interviewed Gordon Sutton, a representative from Tiger Fuels Company, he informed us a carbon tax would make sense to incentivize people and businesses to move to renewables, but it would do more damage to our economy. A carbon tax on a global scale would make it easy to transition to renewables since businesses wouldn't have anywhere to go to escape another tax.
However, if a carbon tax were enforced on a local or state scale, it'd only do more damage to the state's economy because companies would move their businesses and jobs elsewhere to dodge the tax. We also agree that a carbon tax wouldn't really change people's mindsets to switch to renewables because it attacks the long-standing industrial relation businesses have with fossil fuels.
Reached our action and we decided to reach out and send letters to Virginia Delegate Rob Bell, Senator Richard H. Stewart, and Senator Cree Deeds, hoping that they hear our voice of reason and agree to help make the energy plan mandatory in Virginia. We sent them each a letter regarding our interest with the hope that at least one of them will take action.